Last exit, Nevada. The radio crackled exactly at 03:17. Mark didn't notice immediately. The white noise had accompanied him for several hours, steady, almost soothing. He kept one hand on the wheel, tapping the dashboard with the other, counting miles to the nearest exit. And then the static broke. Mark? He clenched his fingers. The voice was raspy, tired. His own. "What the?" Mark whispered, keeping his eyes on the road. "If you're hearing this, it means you didn't stop." His heart pounded faster. He hadn't touched the radio, hadn't pressed any button. Good, keep driving. Mark felt a chill crawl along his spine. The voice sounded as if it came from another room, not from the speaker, from inside. "Who is this?" he said aloud, although he already knew the answer. "You know who I am." A shadow flickered on the roadside, a road sign. The headlights pulled it out of the darkness. Last exit, 120 miles. "Don't slow down," the voice said. "This is the part where you usually mess up." "Shut up." Mark sharply increased the volume, trying to drown it out. The static only grew stronger. "Listen to me." Now the voice was firmer. "You stop the car, you look back, you think you can fix it, every time." "I've never been here," Mark said, although the words sounded false even to him. A few seconds, only the engine's hum. Then, "You say that every time, too." Ahead, a town sign emerged from the darkness. Mark recognized it before he even read the letters. "Welcome to Haven Springs. Population 312. "No," he whispered. "Don't stop," the voice said quickly. "If you see the town, it already sees you." The speedometer needle trembled. His foot relaxed off the gas pedal by itself. "Mark," the voice softened again, "I'm the version of you that made it past the house." "I don't remember any house." A short pause. "You will." The dashboard clock clicked. 03:16. The radio went silent. Then, without any noise, his own whisper came from the back seat. "You're going the wrong way again." Mark slammed on the brakes. The car jerked. The seatbelt slammed into his chest. His heart pounded so hard he could barely hear his own breathing. "Who's there?" he rasped. Silence. The back seat was empty, dark, motionless. Only his reflection in the rearview mirror, pale, eyes wide open. He slowly glanced back at the road. The sign, "Welcome to Haven Springs," was already behind him. "Damn," Mark whispered. He hit the gas again. The headlights illuminated Main Street. Neat houses, perfect lawns. No trash, no cars, no people. The town looked as if it had been waiting for guests, but nobody came. The radio clicked. "Why did you stop?" His voice again, calm, without anger. "I said don't stop, and then you were in the car. I warned you about that part." "It's not funny." "I'm not joking, Mark." He drove past a gas station. The sign burned, but the pumps were disconnected, as if they had never been used. The price board showed $2.17, a strangely familiar number. "You notice it too, right? The numbers." "I don't." Mark silenced. The motel clock across the street read 03:17. The pharmacy window, 03:17. The electronic sign near the school, 03:17. "What time is it?" he whispered, looking at the dashboard. 03:16. "That's your last minute," the voice said. "After that, the town gets a vote." "Voice? For what?" Mark turned onto a street he knew too well, although he was sure he had never driven here. Whether you stay. The car stopped by itself. The engine died. No, no. Mark turned the key. Nothing. The doors of the surrounding houses clicked locked simultaneously. Don't look back, the voice said quickly. Whatever you hear. The rear car doors slowly opened. Mark felt cold breath at his ear. Mark, whispered another voice, female. You promised you wouldn't go this time. He closed his eyes. Emily. She's not real, his voice from the radio said sharply. She's the reason you keep failing. Don't listen to him, she whispered. Look at me. The dashboard clock clicked. 03:17. All streetlights went out, and someone sat in the back seat. Mark didn't turn around. He knew if he looked, something would change forever. The air in the cabin thickened, as if the car was slowly sinking into water. Don't acknowledge her, the radio voice said. Now it sounded closer. Too close. She's a loop trigger. I don't know what that means, Mark whispered. You never do at this stage. Cold fingers touched his shoulder. Mark, Emily said quietly, look at me. You're always afraid of this moment. Shut up. He gripped the wheel so hard his knuckles whited. You left, she continued. You said I'll be back in the morning, and I waited. She's rewriting it, the voice intervened sharply. That's not how it happened. How then? Mark barely whispered. The radio went silent. Then he spoke himself, but not from the speaker. You turned off your phone. Mark shivered. The voice came from behind. His voice, the same tone, same intonation, but without fear, without doubt. I don't remember, Mark said. You remember. You just don't want to yet. The car doors quietly closed by themselves. The headlights flashed again. In front of them stood house number 17. Gray-blue facade, white porch, a scratch on the mailbox. This is where you decide, the radio voice said, calm. Go inside and the town keeps you. Drive away and you lose her again. That's a lie, Mark whispered. And the fire was real? Emily asked quietly. He looked at the house windows. Light burned inside. Shadows moved behind the curtains, human, familiar. This can't be real, he said. And what is real to you? Asked the other Mark. He stood in the corridor, leaning against the wall, calm, collected, the way Mark once was. The fire, Mark replied. Sirens, ash. This is the end, he nodded, and we're showing you the way to it. The kitchen clock clicked. 03:17. That moment, something cracked dully in the wall. A faint stripe of black smoke emerged from under the baseboard. Not now, Mark whispered. But always now, Emily said. This house cannot wait. Fire phase initiated, the radio voice said unemotionally from the kitchen table. Mark didn't remember bringing it here. The air temperature rose. The lamp above the table flickered. You said you'd come back, Emily said, looking at him. I called, again and again. I was drunk, he blurted. I shouldn't have driven. The other Mark nodded. That's the truth. The smoke thickened. Somewhere above, beams cracked. This is the branch point, the voice said. One of you leaves, one of you stays. What does one mean? Mark coughed.
You can't carry this alone, the other explained. The other shrugged. An attempt to escape the void. People, houses, time, all molded from one question. What if you returned? Emily stepped back. The fire was already climbing the stairs. Mark, she said quietly, you can leave, but then I burn again, and again, and again. And if I stay? He asked. The other Mark smiled, tiredly, almost with relief. Then you've lost me. But you'll lose yourself.